So I'm just gonna basically like on this whiteboard here, I'm gonna write down the terms. I'm gonna talk about them, and then at any given moment, you can just stop me, and we could basically like cover it. And then at the end, I'll send you like a quick little email, like with what we covered, or maybe a few trivia questions or whatever to make it fun. How's that sound?
That's perfect.
So the first one is, what is a loan application? So, pretty simple. In order to get financing, a loan application is a document required by the lender before the loan commitment can be offered. So you need to fill out the application, and it's going to have typically the name of the borrower, social security number, how much how much they are trying to purchase, a list of their debt, a list of their income, and it's going to be accompanied with a whole bunch of documents as well that the lender is going to ask for. But basically, the loan application is what the lender wants to put together to see if they can approve you for a loan or not. That's typical before you show houses. You want to make sure that they qualify. So you don't want to be out showing 10 or 20 houses before someone even does the loan application. You don't want to work that way. So what is listing broker versus selling broker? So to keep it simple, the listing broker is the broker, the licensed real estate broker who secures the listing of the property. Is basically the one that puts it on the market. That's the listing broker.
Right.
The selling broker is the other party that brings the buyer to the seller. So when I represent buyers, I'm considered a selling agent, selling broker or whatever, because the listing broker put the property on the market. If I put a property on the market, I'm considered a listing broker. So yep.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
It's fine.
So putting it on the market, listing, and if you represent a buyer, you're a selling broker, if I understand correctly.
Correct. You got it.
Gotcha.
So that's the difference between a listing broker and a selling broker. All right, so now, next one.
Joe, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Vic.
All right, I've been here for a few minutes, but yeah.
All right, so listing price. So listing price is very simple. It's the price that we put on the property when we put it on the market. Typically, the seller picks the listing price, but as the agent, you're gonna influence that decision by, providing them with like comparable sales, and from your experience, you're gonna tell them a house in this neighborhood is gonna cost this much because you have this upgrades, or you haven't done these upgrades, like you haven't maintained the roof or whatever. So it's a combination of a lot of things that come together to select the listing price. It's not just a random, oh, I want 250 for my house, 300 for my house. There's a lot more like research that goes into it.
Right.
The seller picks their listing price. You're allowed to influence them. It's part of your job. You don't want to take an overpriced listing. Make sense?
That makes sense.
The real estate commission. So although that's what you also call the paychecks, the commission, the real estate commission is actually a government agency that issues the license to those who wish to sell or buy real estate. So in many states, a property manager is required to also have a real estate license. So the commission decides on the requirements for the license, and they administer the exams to determine who may be qualified to have a license. So the real estate commission is that group and government agency that manages all that. Acceptance. So pretty much acceptance is the act of agreeing to accept an offer. So you put an offer together, you go back and forth a little bit, they want more, you want to pay less, but you guys meet in the middle somewhere, and the offer gets an acceptance. That means the offer got accepted. Simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now these terms, they're not, like I said before, in any type of order of like how the class is structured, but the real estate exam is thrown at you randomly, random subjects. So I hope that what I'm doing is going to help because I'm randomly throwing terms out there. So equity. So equity, to keep it simple, is the ownership interest of value that the owner has in the real estate over the amount of liens. So you owe a certain amount of money and your house is worth a certain amount of money. The difference between what the house is worth and what you owe, that's considered equity. There's a bunch of things that can help your equity. For example, a few sales happen in your neighborhood, higher and higher, the prices go higher, that affects your equity because your house is not going up in value. So you have more equity. You do certain renovations to your house, certain upgrades, certain additions, that can help your equity. Equity pretty much is only touched a certain time. So like if you're selling your house, now you can touch your equity because you can sell it and cash out the difference, the equity. Or when you're doing like lines of credit. So like there's certain lines of credit out there, I think like home equity lines that basically come out of your equity.
Yep.
That's what the equity is.
So it's like you're borrowing from your own more like your own house and then paying that back.
Correct. And the way that is determined is an appraiser goes out there to your house or whatever, and they appraise what the current value of your home is, and then they look at what you owe. That difference is considered equity. Somebody that I know just recently remodeled their entire kitchen by just cashing out their equity.
Yeah,
And it's crazy, right?
Yeah, I used to help a lot of clients at the bank with home equity line of credit. So yeah, that is real good.
So what's one of the reasons why somebody will want to take out a home equity line of credit?
I mean, multiple reasons. I mean, you could just take out a home equity line of credit to buy a car. Realistically, you could take out a home equity line of credit to pay student loans, pay back some debt that you have. You could take it out to, like you said, do your whole kitchen over, add an extension to your house, anything you want, because that cash is your cash to do whatever you want with it.
So would the interest rate on a home equity line be cheaper than interest rate on, like, let's say buying a car at a dealer, or like it'll be better?
Absolutely. And the benefit of a home equity line of credit is that it's paid back as the term of a home loan. So it's literally like a 30-year mortgage that you're paying back. So if you pay back $20,000 stretched over 30 years, could you imagine what your payments would be like on a monthly basis?
So owning property not only benefits you because you have the pride of ownership, it essentially can serve as not a bank account or a savings account, but it can benefit you with the equity line of credit you could potentially take out in the future based on how much equity you have, right?
Absolutely.
So student loan.
So hold up, because that's crazy. Because for example, my parents a long time ago, they wanted to fix some stuff up in the house, and they wanted to do it by taking an equity out of the house, but I didn't understand exactly how it was. So somebody told me it was like kind of negative, but it's not. Like, I guess, like, let's say you owe this much and then your home is worth more than you think, you get that line of equity, which is, let's say they only need 10,000, and they pretty much finance that through the life of the already set home loan, right?
It's like a new 30-year loan. So it's not,
okay, new
it
30
doesn't
years.
start like if you already had your loan for 10 years, it starts from that point on. No, it's a new 30 years from the point that you establish it. But like it says in the actual term, it's a line of credit. So if you don't use the money, you don't pay anything back. You only use what you spend. You can take out 50,000 and just use it as a backup savings, just to have it just in case of a medical emergency comes up. You got 50,000 in a home equity line of credit that you can use in case that medical emergency happens. So you never have to pay it back unless you use it, but you always have it just in case. It's your safety net, realistically.
So if you use, let's say you get 50,000 and you only use 10,000, then
you
you
only
only have to. Wow,
Yes.
that's crazy.
But you still have
only
40,000 to use in your home equity line of credit, and as you pay it back, obviously it replenishes what you can use. It's amazing. I love setting up my clients with home equity line of credits.
Perfect. So you guys can agree that owning real estate not only benefits you now, but we can teach our clients about things like equity for potential if they have a baby, if they want to upgrade their car, if they want to remodel the house in the future. You can buy a house now, even though it needs work, as long as it's move-in ready. And then in maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, as the market starts to rise, cash out the home equity, boom, you can remodel that entire house. So there's multiple benefits of the equity line, but basically it's the difference between what the house is worth and what you owe. So that's the equity portion of it. Now we're going into ethics. Is ethics the same as law? So as realtors, you have to adhere to a code of ethics, and nobody really puts you in check, but you have to do it to yourself. You just can't take advantage of people. But no, ethics is not the same as law. And those lines can get very blurred really quick. But as long as you're practicing real estate like ethically or whatever, you're not going to run into any issues or whatever. But you want to treat your colleagues, client, and the public fair in a truthful manner or whatever. And you want to basically have a good name out there. So the better you are with ethics, the better you're going to be with, repeat clients and recommendations and referrals and all that. This term is pretty simple, rescind. It has to do with real estate as well, because when you put an offer in, you have the option to rescind the offer. Rescind means basically to withdraw it. In any way you look at it, rescind is basically withdrawing something. So you put an offer on a house, and before the offer is accepted, you change your mind because you found a better house. You can rescind the offer. Once the offer gets accepted, you can back out depending on how you set the offer up, and you'll be good, like legally or whatever. But you'll learn about that later, about like inspection periods and backing out of contracts and stuff. But before the offer is accepted, you can rescind it, which basically means just backing out of it. So someone's interested in getting into real estate. Where to begin? So this is one of the flashcards. So basically, to get into real estate, you have to apply to the Real Estate Commission in your state. We already know the Real Estate Commission is that government agency that oversees everything real estate in the state. So you just have to go online, go on Google, and search for the State Real Estate Commission, Nevada Real Estate Commission, New York Real Estate Commission, Florida Real Estate Commission. You're going to get a breakdown of everything that you need. And every state might be a little different on what their rules are or whatever. So consideration. What is consideration in a contract? So in order to make a contract binding, there has to be some sort of consideration. And we use the term escrow sometimes, or escrow deposit, when it comes to consideration. So an example would be, I want to put an offer on a house for $100,000, and it takes me 30 days to get financing. The seller is going to want you to have some skin in the game. So consideration would be a deposit up front, which is, refundable if something were to happen with the loan or whatever. But if you back out, they keep it. But consideration would be anything. You could put $1,000, $500. It's just showing the seller that you're putting some skin in the game as the loan is getting processed in the background. That's consideration.
So it's basically like its own root word. It's to have the seller who's selling the house consider your offer. So it's like showing them that you're serious about it.
Exactly.
I got a question on that. So, and if I understand correctly, the real estate agent, they can negotiate whatever that cost is.
Correct. You can negotiate whatever escrow. Yep.
It could be okay. Just want to make sure.
The higher the escrow, the better your offer looks, though. So, like, you put $5, it ain't gonna look that good. You put $1,000, it may look a little more attractive.
Gotcha.
But that consideration is not extra money at all. It's part of your down payment and closing costs. It just gets put up front, and then the remaining balance of everything gets sent at closing to the title company. Second mortgage. So, we haven't even got the first mortgage yet. We're talking about the second mortgage. But lenders have these techniques where they can do second mortgages. And it may sound crazy, but there's a lot of good reasons to do this. So let's say you have a eligibility for a type of loan like FHA, 3.5% down, but you don't have that cash. You don't even have the 3.5% down. Some lenders have programs available where you're getting a first mortgage for 96.5% of the loan, but you still have to put a down payment of 3.5%, and the second mortgage gets taken out for the 3.5%. So essentially you have two mortgages and you just get 100% financing situation. That's actually realistic. That actually happens. And then it gets better. There's certain programs out there that will cover the second mortgage for you just because they want you to get into homes. They call them first-time home buyer programs. So people think those are free. A lot of times they're good incentives, but if you try to move out of the house in less than 3 years on certain programs, you're responsible to pay back that second mortgage. Or if you stay there 3 years or longer, it's waived. Basically, it's credited by the government or whatever, because they want to incentivize more people to buy more homes. Second mortgages sometimes also increase the interest rate on the first mortgage. So you have to just be on top of the terms and conditions on how these second mortgages work. But it's essentially another mortgage to help you sometimes get into the first mortgage. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How many have you done any of those? Any second mortgages?
I have 2 deals right now that have second mortgages involved because they're going with down payment assistance programs. So just to give you a scenario, it's somebody who has the credit score of 620 and they have the income. They just have a problem saving money, which I do as well. So they're like, I'm never going to get into a house because if to get into a house, you need what? 6, 7, 10, up to $15,000 minimum. So what we're doing is, here's what we're doing. We're doing the program down payment assistance where the first mortgage gets taken out, the second mortgage gets taken out for the 3.5%, and he pays on that second mortgage only for 3 years. So whatever the mortgage payment is for 30 years for 3.5% of 250K, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I can probably email it to you. He's paying only for 3 years on the second mortgage, and then it goes away after the third year because he completed his 3 years there, and the rest of it is waived or whatever. It's an incentive that the government has to put you in a house, but the interest rate is a little bit higher. So trust me when I tell you, at the end of this loan, he would have paid back maybe like 4 times more to 5 times more than what he would have paid just by putting the down payment. But these second mortgages are sometimes for people who cannot save money. And you have an option now for those people. You could say, hey, I know you're living, let's say, paycheck to paycheck or whatever, but your credit is good, you're paying your bills on time. Why don't you let me help you get into a home? Those are the people that are going to impact the most. The people that they're in a lease right now, paying $1,400 a month, and you could easily put them in a crib for like $210,000, $220,000 with no money out of pocket because of the second mortgage option. Does that make sense?
I never knew that was an option.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I'm actually holding a seminar in like 2-3 weeks on a Sunday in Orlando that you guys should come to, where I'm going to have a lender available to explain how they're able to get your buyers into houses with zero down. They're going to talk about down payment assistance. They're going to talk about second mortgages. They're going to talk about credit repair. If somebody needs credit repair, these lenders will follow up with your clients for like months. Like they just follow up with a client for 6 months, month after month, getting their credit ready, and boom, they got them into a house. These lenders are willing to work with you. All you gotta do is put the clients in front of them. And I'm gonna have those lenders there to talk to you guys if you guys can make it or whatever, and I'll send you an invite. It's gonna be downtown Orlando on a Sunday.
Send that to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a
Yeah,
Sunday.
definitely. Both of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send that to you because you're gonna learn about mortgage. You're gonna learn about the lending process, the mortgage process, benefits that the lender has to get more people, qualified into homes. And that person that I told you about that I'm helping with second mortgage, the seller is paying his closing costs because the seller's very motivated. So this person is about to move into this crib for like $500, maybe $700 the most. And that's, unheard of. Like you think real estate, you're thinking, $10,000, $15,000, but there are different scenarios that you can, if you learn everything that I'm teaching you, you're going to see different scenarios to get different people into homes. And that is essentially going to help you get more clients faster and get more commission faster. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Default, very simple. You failed to perform a duty. So when you default on a loan, it's basically because you missed a certain number of payments. That could eventually lead to foreclosure. So acre. What is an acre? So for the real estate exam, you're going to have to memorize this. But an acre is 43,560 feet. So if someone says, oh, my house has 1 acre, it means it has that many feet of land. 2 acres, it's double that number. So an acre is also 640. So there is 640 acres in 1 mile, just to put it into perspective. So on the real estate exam, you might get a question about a quarter of an acre, half an acre. So you remember 43,560, you may be able to answer those questions easily. So that's what an acre is. What is the meaning of amortization? So it's a really funny word or whatever, but amortization is simply the process of paying down the loan. In a mortgage, because the lender wants to make their money, a big portion of your mortgage payment starts off. So your mortgage payment is going to be the same number for the 30 years, right? This is the weird thing. But if you break it down, a bigger portion of it is interest at first, and a small portion is principal. And as you're paying, the interest goes down, but the principal goes up because the bank wants to get their money for lending you the loan or whatever. So the bank knows how to do it where they're the most profitable is basically by having an amortization with the loan where basically more of the principal gets paid back first. And as you're slowly going, the principal is growing, the interest is lowering, but the monthly payment's going to stay the same. A lot of people are going to tell you that you can pay your mortgage off faster by putting additional payments onto your principal. So when you make a mortgage payment, if you have extra money and you just apply it to the principal, then you're going to beat that amortization schedule. You're going to beat that interest because you're going to be closing the loan off sooner from the back end. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Some people even say that, and I haven't calculated this, but if you make your same mortgage payment twice by making one payment and then paying the same amount to just your principal, you can cut the loan by 8 years or 10 years. Literally, you can almost cut it in a third. So if you get a cheap mortgage where you can afford to pay extra payments, you're doing yourself, justice by basically paying that down. This also helps you because your equity is growing faster. So something pops up. Yep, you got more equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Boom. So that's what amortization means. So types of real estate licenses. So you have broker associate, you have salesperson, which is what I am, which is what we're going to all start off as, salesperson, inactive, which means not active, appraiser, and home inspector. Those are all the licenses that are here on this flashcard. And your real estate license starts off as a salesperson, and then after 2 years, you can go to be a broker or broker associate. If you want to open up your own shop or whatever, you can be a broker and you could open up your own business. These are the types of licenses. Questions on that?
No, sir.
Nope.
Right. So how is a salesperson compensated? So you guys want to know, how do you get paid, right? So a salesperson is compensated through the broker. So all my checks are made payable to my company name, and my company pays me. Different brokers have different commission splits, which is your job to figure out what's the right fit for you. I'm at one right now where it's an 80-20 split until they reach $16,000 of split, and then I'm 100%. So basically, the whole check gets sent payable to the broker, and they pay me my cut. So only the broker can receive commission. You cannot receive any commission at all in real estate that doesn't get sent to your broker first. So the broker is the one who gets paid the commission. If you become a broker in 2 years or whatever, after you meet the requirements, you basically get the money yourself. It all goes to you. And you just pay your bills. You pay your storefront. You pay the electricity. You pay any fees that you have when you become the broker. So the broker has the ability to also pay the referral. So if somebody gives you a referral and you guys agree upon it up front to pay that person who referred you a cut, like somebody from New York, a real estate agent calls me in Florida, they Googled Florida realtors, I pop up, they hit me up, or they see me on Instagram. Hey, I got somebody moving to Florida from New York. What referral do you want to work out? We can go back and forth. Okay, standard 25%, 30%, 35%, 20%. And if I agree, I basically get a referral form put together. My broker signs it, and then it gets sent over to them, the other agent's broker. They both sign it, and then they send me all the client's info. I get the client pre-approved, or if they're pre-approved already, I help them find a house. When the paycheck comes, it goes to my broker. My broker pays that referral fee before any splits. The 25, 35% referral gets sent to the other broker. Then out of the remaining balance, my broker takes his cut, and out of that side on their end, their broker takes their cut. Make sense?
Yeah.
So out of all real estate, sorry?
No, I was just going to is that like a standard rate around 25% for referral?
So I just did one recently where I asked for 10% referral. I told the guy, just give me 10%. I've seen the standard be from 20 to 30%. That's what I've seen the standard be, but you can negotiate. I don't think it makes sense for you to ask for 40% commission if someone literally is going to do all the work. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be pretty hard. Now, if you did all the work, listen to this. If you did all the work and you found the property that they want. You got your client pre-approved, ready to go, and they're just going to show that one property. Yeah, I feel comfortable saying, hey, I want 30 to 35%. But the agent over there is still going to have to put the offer in. They're going to have to do the inspection, the appraisal, the closing. So there's still some work in the background. But I would say the more prepared you make your client for that buyer's agent, is the more of a fee you could charge. If it's a first-time home buyer and you have no consultation with them, you literally just refer them, bro, yeah, just ask for like 15, 20%. But if you break the whole process down to them, take some time, and you explain everything, and you help that other agent out, you can see why you can charge more of a commission, right? More of a referral, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly. Comparable sales. So comparable sales or comps is very simple. It's basically the homes around the subject home that compare to it. Now, there's a lot of ways to compare it. There's no right or wrong way. You can compare number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms. Some people compare square footage because some people say that, okay, if this is a 3-bedroom at 1,500 square foot and this is a 4-bedroom at 1,500 square foot, they're comparable in my eyes because I could probably make another bedroom out of that 3-bedroom. Like I could probably add a wall somewhere and make it a 4-bedroom house. Now that's not wrong. You can do that. Like you can literally do that. So comparables is how you compare other properties. So it could be based on square footage, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms. It could be the year the house was built. It's difficult in our market here in Florida to compare the year because you probably would think, oh, brand new houses that are built 3 years ago are gonna be way better than a house that was built in 1990. Wrong. There's some crazy renovations that I have seen done on properties that were older that make it better than some new properties. So, I mean, you can try to compare by age or whatever, but I'd rather just look at the properties, look at the pictures, look at the descriptions. You look at the description, it says new roof, new plumbing, new AC. If they're gutting the house and putting everything new, how does the year really compare to this house that's 2016, but it's beat up because they didn't take care of it in the 3 years it was built? So you could find a better deal with an older house depending on the renovations. So comparables is going to help you for a number of reasons. So let's say you're helping a buyer look at houses and you have someone who you think is going to be a low baller. If you look at the comparables in advance and you start saying, okay, I already ran all the comps for you. We're looking at this house in this area. The good thing is it's priced just right because I already ran similar comps in the area that were priced just like this. Now comparables are only valid when they have sold. It's hard to look at comparables that are active on the market because it's just a random number of prices that were put up. Listing agents put up those prices or whatever. What has sold is what's considered a more accurate comparable. So when you look at comparables, look at sold properties. So you're with the buyer and you're like, hey, we're looking at these properties today and I did some preliminary work or whatever and I ran comps on them. In this property, the price is right because 4 properties sold in that same subdivision less than a mile away, similar square footage, similar price. Boom, you see that? You just help your client in realizing that that's a good price for that property versus them going in and saying, I'm pre-approved for 250, let's offer 210. Well, why do you want to offer 210? Oh, I don't know, it's probably worth 210, right? So you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be the guy that's answering that question, no, it's probably worth this. If you have the answer already for them by running the comparables, that's going to help you. And the more practice you get running comps, the better you're going to be at neighborhoods. And then when somebody asks you, oh, how is the Lake Nona neighborhood? All these comps you've been running, you're going to be like, oh, it's not bad. A 3-bedroom goes for like 260. When you're able to basically, and that's not accurate, 3-bedrooms go for 260. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but Lake Nona is more expensive, obviously. But you can imagine how good you're going to look when you're able to spit that data out that quick. You guys agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people don't run comps. They just like to be lazy. They like to show the house and tell the person, what do you want to offer? And then they want to go back and forth saying, oh, that's a low ball offer. Just avoid the trouble of running into that issue by running comps in advance. Now, when you run comparables and you have a buyer that's hard-headed, let's not say hard-headed, but they're a little challenging, and they're like, oh, I just want to offer 240. Well, you literally can challenge them in a respectful way. You don't want to fight your client, obviously, but you could literally say, well, why. I just need to know why we're looking at 240 when I ran the comparables and it's 250. This house is priced right at 250. Just help me understand how to better position your offer for 240. What is it that you're seeing that requires $10,000 in, let's say, upgrades or work? Explain to me the $10,000 difference. And I will guarantee you guys, more time than none, they cannot explain it. So they just literally say, okay, let's go with what it is worth, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're not disrespecting them. You did research in advance to show them why you think the price is right. And then in some scenarios, you're going to be able to run comps and you're going to be able to show the person, this house is actually priced below market value. That's a slam dunk in my eyes, because you have a house that's priced below market value. There's no reason why your buyer should go even lower than that. But you're still going to have those buyers. They're going to be like, oh, I want to go $20,000 lower. You could put the offer in if you want to, whatever, but you have to do the research and basically show your buyer that this house, this is undervalued right now. This is a deal if you get it at this price. Because the goal is to connect the buyer with the seller. You also want to get them a deal, but at the end of the day, there has to be one bigger goal. And in my eyes, the bigger goal is buying real estate. And I don't discriminate at all on what clients I like to work with, but I like to tell all my clients right away that I specialize. I'm more effective in helping people that are about to be homeless. What I mean by that is like their lease is about to expire. They need to transfer a job really soon. You know, different scenarios that are about to make them homeless. And I say that to say this. I've helped clients that are looking for deals. I'm currently helping one right now that we're going on 3 to 4 months, and they have yet to find the house that they want, because every house that we put an offer in has been $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 lower. And I've literally offered already 19 different offers, and we're just not getting anywhere. So I'm not big on firing clients or whatever, but I don't feel like I'm as effective in helping that guy. I don't feel like I'm going to get that guy what he's looking for, because he's unfortunately looking for somebody to lower their price low enough for him to get a deal. So his goal is get a home, but since he's not in a rush to move out of where he's currently at, his goal is also get a loan, get a house, and get a deal. And I'm just not that effective in helping him, so I'm going to keep trying to help him, but eventually he's going to get to a point where I'm going to have a conversation and say, listen, I don't feel like I'm the right fit for you. You know, I'm taking you all over town and everything and putting in these offers that, you know, I've already explained to you kind of don't make sense, but I'm the messenger. I want to get your offer across to the other side, and I've tried multiple times to explain to you why I think these houses are worth that, what they're listed for, whatever, and, you know, it's just not working. So comparable sales is very important. Comps are what's going to basically show you and show your client if the house you're looking at is worth the price. Make sense?
Yep.
Why do you guys think comparable sales make sense as far as like helping somebody sell their house?
Because it helps them. It helps the buyer see the value in the home, so the buyer doesn't lowball, because people like the guy that you're talking about like to get deals, and sometimes they don't want to pay what it's worth. But when you show them that, you know, there's houses around you, this house 2 doors down has the same exact square footage and everything, and it is actually priced at this much higher, so you're actually getting this house for a very decent price.
Not only that, would you guys agree that if you study enough comparables and you have a few sales in a certain neighborhood, that you can let those homeowners in that community know about that you're actually the right person to go to price their home right? You would agree, right?
Yeah. I think what we talked about the other day was good, like sending out those was it brochures saying, you know, this home sold for this price and you're the one that helped sell it. So yeah, it builds your value as well as an agent.
There's postcards, brochure. You can get postcards, 100 postcards mailed out and everything for like $80 for 100. Because they're gonna mail it for you. They're gonna design. You can design it. They're gonna print it, and they're gonna do all the work for you. You can get postcards saying "just sold." So you sell a house in a certain neighborhood, and you want to promote that. You can do Facebook ads. You can put it on your social media. You can get a postcard printed saying "just sold this property," and now your face is gonna be in those homeowners' mailboxes where they're like, "Oh, this guy just sold a house on my property," and then boom, they see your face one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sell another property in that community or whatever, or close to that community, you hit those same people again with postcards again. Or basically you basically can send more postcards to them and they'll see your face again. You can put brochures in the mail or whatever. You can put door hangers on their door or whatever showing that the house was sold, and you can do cold calling. Something I'm going to show you guys eventually is it's called farming or circle prospecting. It's the craziest thing out there. It's basically when you're cold calling neighborhoods, the neighborhood you want to really be the agent for. So a neighborhood near your neighborhood or whatever, or your own neighborhood, you can cold call them. You can say, hey, a house just sold in your neighborhood, in this neighborhood, in 10 days for this much above asking price. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm here to help you if you ever wanted to know the value of your home. So that's a cold call, an example of a script that's very simple and it's very low pressure, where you're not basically forcing them to sell anything. And don't worry about it because you guys are going to be safe because these cold calling systems are going to scrub the do not call list. So they're going to take away the numbers that are in the do not call list. So you're not going to be calling people illegally either. So you might get people who are angry, like, oh, why are you calling me? You might get people who are interested. You might hit the person at the right time when they're actually mad at their neighbor and they want to leave the neighborhood, or they want to change jobs or something, or they want to get a new construction. And you might be the person that calls them and says, hey, 2 houses just sold in your neighborhood, and I'm just calling everybody in the neighborhood to let them know about that. And I wanted to let you know that I'm available to give you some free evaluation on your home, free. I print it out, I give it to you, and I'll even give you some handouts on how to make your house pop out for sellers, like to sell it quick. Like, you're offering value to these people. You have not asked for a sale yet. You have not told them, hey, do you want to sell your house or not? You're starting off by offering them value. And at the same time, if you're doing the postcards, boom, they saw your face once or twice already. Boom, you do the Facebook ads. You can target neighborhoods with Facebook ads. Who's not on Facebook? They're literally going to see your face pop up on their Facebook, and then you hit them with a cold call. These are just examples of different ways to get business, like out of cold calling and reaching out to clients. So that all goes together. The comparables, can help you get more listings, and you guys are going to learn that helping buyers buy houses is super dope because you just open doors and you show them the house and you basically build value with them and talk about neighborhoods. But when you're the listing agent, it's a whole nother ballgame. You have agents bringing you buyers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no better way to leverage your time than to be a listing agent. But we're going to start off as buyers agents in the meantime so we can learn the process, and we're going to grow from there.
Absolutely.
Boom. So I'm going to let you guys go. I don't want to keep you here all night. What do you guys think about the way we did this?
I love it.
Yeah,
Very informative. I think it's definitely going to keep us on our toes about these things. Like a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and it's gonna promote the, like you were saying, the muscle memory. So we'll be able to as soon as the word pops up,
mm-hmm.
In our mind, it's gonna pop up what it means. What I do, if you can, what I want you to do is next to, like, let's say listing price, real estate commission, just write like a short, like something short and simple of what it is. So,
mm-hmm.
like members understand.
Like a definition, right?
Yeah, kind of like a definition.
That way you can capture this screen that we have in front of us and you can just look at it for reference or just print it.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of screen real estate here. I could have written definitions like left and right here.
Or have them all, or no, you picking them out random, you said each time?
I'm picking them out randomly, yeah.
I mean, you can pick them out random, but maybe like beforehand, so this way you can have those definitions already prepared. So this way you don't have to worry about having to type in the definition as you go. It's more of a flash and show. I don't know. What do you think?
That makes sense.
I got you.
That makes sense. So I commit to, using up more of this space to have the definitions. I'm going to pick the questions out in advance so I can know what I'm going to write, keep it simple, and then we'll just go back and forth like that on the next call.
Okay.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right, guys. I'll chat later.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right, take care, guys.